Forging cybersecurity experts. Secure Ninja.
Hey everyone, I'm Alicia Webb at Secure Ninja TV, and I'm here at DEFCON 22, now speaking with Todd Beardsley. He is the pirate captain of Metasploit Framework at Rapid7. That's quite a title. How are you, Todd?
I'm doing excellent, Alicia.
Awesome. It's always good to see you. Always good to talk with you. What the heck is a pirate captain?
The boring version of that title is engineering manager, and so, but it's somewhat piratical because I work on open source software, open source security all the time, and there are hundreds of people that contribute to this, and so my job is kind of like just get them on the ship and keep going, and they're all here, so that's why I come.
So you're the captain of the pirate ship of hundreds of people.
Yes.
And they're all here.
And they're all here. Many of them, not all of them,
right.
Not all of them, but many are here. And the great thing about DEF CON is that I get to see people that I've worked with, that I respect, that we get along, and I've never seen them in person.
Right.
I met just today Spencer McIntyre. He's been doing a lot of work with us lately. OJ Reeves, who everybody loves, also known as the Colonial. He's here in town. I can name drop all the time here.
Right.
Pick those up. But yeah, we every year I meet at least 2 or 3 people I've never met before, and it's great. It's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So I talked to you at a bunch of different shows, but it's safe to say that DEF CON is really where your crowd is at. The Metasploit crowd is at.
Exactly. These are my people.
They are your people.
and everybody usually comes here at least once. It's harder to find a Metasploit contributor at some other shows that 3-letter acronym shows.
Right.
But at DEF CON, it's quite easy to run into them. I've probably talked to 20 today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's definitely a cool crowd, and you're definitely not the only person who brought your laptop here to the show today.
Absolutely.
But you did bring it because I think you might want to show me something cool.
I do. We have been noodling around on Android devices a lot, like how to own Android, what you're going to do, like once you've already owned Android, stuff like that.
Right.
This is my sample phone. It's a Kyocera something or other. It's probably about $120 phone. So a little bit low end, I guess, for like rich hacker types like you and me. But it's fairly recent. It's out of the box. It's got all its updates. And this bug is just super persistent. It's called the WebView Add JavaScript Interface bug. We have been working with this. We at Metasploit and we as the security industry have been on this for like 3 years. And there's been assurances from the Google, who maintains Android, that it's been fixed, it's patched. Between us and so we think about 70% of Android devices out in the world that report in are vulnerable to some form of this attack via this bug. The ACLU thinks it's more like 95%.
Wow.
So I don't know where it is really. It depends kind of on how you count. And so what I'm going to show you today is this phone, which is nominally not vulnerable. It doesn't have the vulnerable version of this software. Can become vulnerable quite easily by just downloading fairly popular apps from Google's Play Store. So, I know the advice of you should never sideload apps, you should always go to the Play Store because it's safe. Well, not so much. So we're going to go through that today.
All right. Well, let's see what you got. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
So here we are. This is the Metasploit Framework console. This is the command line-y thing. This is the free and open source interface that most people are using, I think. I would like more people to use the Pro, but the framework is free. So what we're going to do is I've already kind of staged this up. I'm on the WebView JavaScript interface exploit here. This is a big wall of text that talks about it. And what we've got going on here is that basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up a web server that is serving this exploit. I'm going to visit it with this phone 2 times. I'm going to visit it first with the stock browser to show that it's not vulnerable, and then I'm going to use this alternate browser that's really popular. It's got a few million downloads. It's kind of big in Asia. It's not Chrome or anything like that, but it's popular, and it's from the Google Play Store. So we're going to do that. this is, whoops, not info. We're going to do show options, just to make sure I got all my stuffs. And I'm on reverse TCP, that's good. Okay, so the other interesting thing about this is that this payload is the version of Meterpreter for Android. I've talked about Meterpreter before on this very show, or whatever this is. And Meterpreter is our stock rootkit, backdoor, persistence module, everything. It's the kitchen sink of what to do after you've popped a vulnerability. So it's interesting because this is the Android version, which is kind of new for us, and we're always working on it. We just did some updates to it just a couple weeks ago, so it should be solid, but we'll find out right now. So we're going to hit run. Here's the URL. I'm just on a local network. I could be doing this over the internet. It's no big deal. It's just a little bit less logistically difficult in the middle of a conference full of hackers to just do it locally. So I'm using this URL right here. This is 192.168.43.169. Easiest thing to do is just to come over to this QR code, which maps directly to that. So I'm going to fire up my barcode scanner. There it is. We can scan Alicia, no barcodes. And we're going to scan this. Okay. You can see that we already talked to it, but that's okay because the barcode scanner at least is not vulnerable to this, so that's good. We're going to go to the browser right here, and it's thinking about it. It's going to serve the exploit. It's not going to work. This is not going to work, I guarantee you, because this is the stock Android browser, which is not vulnerable to this anyway. This has been patched in 4.2, I think, of Android. And this operating system here is like 4.2 or 4.3, one or the other. I can look it up later. But that's fine. So look at that. No shells. We're really sad. So we're gonna go back to the QR code. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna open browser. Now I'm gonna use my aftermarket browser. This guy right here. It's gonna fire up. And hopefully this works. We're serving the exploit. There we go. Okay, so we see up here that I've got a session. According to this, I have a session now on my phone, which means I have a terminal in there. I'm going to just put this to the side. So I have a Meterpreter session. We're identified as Java. The Android Meterpreter is technically the Java Meterpreter with some slight modifications. We're going to interact with this. I'm going to ls, and so now I see like whatever the working directory of the browser, that's what I'm in right now. So I have no idea what this Google hot word is. I've never actually seen this before, so let's see what this is. Maybe it's, look at that, it's a bunch of stuff. And they're like names of people. I don't know what that is. So what we're going to do is we're going to change directory like you do, and now I'm treating, as you can see, like I can treat my phone like a computer now with no authentication. I didn't type in a username or password or anything like this. So what this browser is effectively is a backdoor at this point, because this bug is so old. This browser is a backdoor into my phone, and it's, like I said, it's available on the Google Play Store. So all the advice you've ever heard of like, oh, don't sideload apps, don't get them from places you don't trust, that kind of doesn't apply here, because this thing is from a place I trust, from a real vendor, millions of downloads, vetted, available today on Google Play Store, and it is a backdoor. So what we're going to do is I think in the main directory here, we can go to SD card. This is where you save like all your pictures and downloads and stuff. I merely have the permissions of the browser, but you can see I can do kind of a lot of things here. I can go to the downloads, download, and this is where this is the place I keep my Dogecoin wallet, right? So I'll look at my Dogecoins, and it's probably easier just to do it this way. Cat Doge, and this is the backup of my wallet. So there you go. This you shouldn't be able to get at, like, ever. It's encrypted but all you have to do at this point is grab this string, run a decryption on it, and if it's a normal password that someone's likely to type in on a phone, It's going to be short, it's going to be easy, and it's going to fall over fast.
And
By
then
the way,
they can get into your Dogecoin
and then
wallet?
they can steal all my millions of
Oh, yeah,
Dogecoins.
that's right.
I know, and I love each and every one of them. You know, you could obviously. I like Dogecoin. Bitcoin is the same deal. DEFCON is the same deal. Litecoin is the so that's where like all those backups are. But here's something cool. If I do help here, because I'm in an interpreter shell here, so I can do webcam. This stuff is really neat. Webcam list. And so, yeah, this guy has a camera, right? He's got a camera, he's got a camera. It's a little more dramatic if he had a front camera, but he doesn't. But if it did, I would just pick that one. And I can do something along these lines. I could do webcam, if you don't mind, Alicia being my model. I'll just do one of these. I don't know how to line it up or anything. Usually it like does it sideways, but I do a snap. And so I can take pictures off of my victim phone and pop them right up. And let's see if it was, should it be this way maybe? Oops. I think maybe that way. This might be upside down. I don't know. I'm not very good spatially. You know, and I can do this all day long, right? Oh, that is upside down. Let's try one more time. So there we go. It's a little dark. Camera's a little crappy.
Yeah.
But there it is. So I have a lot of control over this phone by just merely being the browser.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, I know what this bug is. If you have something along these lines on the what is it? It's the thing, the Google thing you wear in your face. The Google Glass. Yeah. If you trigger this bug on the Google Glass, the default browser permissions on that gives you a lot more because Google Glass needs a lot more stuff. So if I'm going to talk and do Hangouts and dictate things and all that, like the browser is like that close to root. So, which basically means I get a shell on that thing on your face, which is a little bit creepy. And maybe someday this bug will be behind us, but it's been over 3 years and it hasn't happened yet. I hope this will get resolved somehow, someday. The problem is that it's this whole supply chain that puts this phone in my hand, right? Because we've got Google, who does Android, and then I have a phone manufacturer, Kyocera, who makes the phone and monkeys with it a little bit. I've got the carrier, which in this case is Boost Mobile, and they put on their own things. And then I have like the retailer where I get it from, like Best Buy or Walmart or something, which is where you get these phones. These are off the shelf like burner phones, but I'm sorry, burner phones is a term of art for drug dealers. I'm not one of those. But for month-to-month phones, like that's what this is. So, like, who's responsible for like patching this thing? And then you have all the millions of app developers out there. So, I don't know how to solve this today. Like, clearly we solved this with like regular computers like 10 years ago. You know, like we just have Windows updates and it all works, and everybody that has patches. I have notified the vendor of this over Twitter like 3 months ago, and they responded immediately. I was really surprised. Said, "Oh yeah, we'll take a look at that. Thanks for letting us know." Nothing after that. So I don't know. It's you see, I get a little depressed about this. Like,
you're upset that it hasn't been solved.
It hasn't been solved. The phones are ubiquitous. You know, I've got one right here, and I can like instantly make this dude, which is like a real phone. It's kind of expensive. It's last year's Nexus or whatever. But the fact that I can get like backdoored from an app in the Play Store is just a disaster. I think it's a huge disaster.
So an Android user, there's nothing they can do to protect themselves against this bug? If they're buying from a trusted vendor and
they're doing all the things that they're doing. They're doing everything right. They're getting their updates, and yet they're still vulnerable to like backdoory sort of exploits like this. And I know like technically a backdoor is something that was put in there intentionally. But if I wanted a backdoor phones, like this is exactly what I would do. I would just ship bugs. Oops, like that's what I would do. I'm not even going to get in trouble for it. It's like, these guys are doing it. Everybody's doing it. There are lots of apps that are vulnerable to this bug. A big part of this is the libraries that are used by the ads in free apps. They're all little tiny web browsers too. And if I control one of those, then I can snap pictures of you on your phone. So. So yeah, I don't know what users can do other than talk to Google, make a stink. I know the ACLU, like I said, is aware of this problem. In the U.S., the FTC is aware of this. They want to know something to do. They want ideas too of how to do this. I know Google's aware of it. They had floated something a while ago about how they were going to they were going to do some security checking before you get into the App Store, which they were kind of supposed to be doing already, but they were going to be more serious about it.
Okay.
Technically it was like if your phone is not up to like a latest-ish version of Android, you won't be able to talk to the App Store anymore. But as we can see, it doesn't really matter because I can still package up this exploit in an app itself. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely, take this interview and put it out there to Google and everybody, and maybe something good will happen because of it.
Well, and that's why we publish exploit modules like this. It's just to show like how bam, how easy it is to do for somebody who's not all that smart to knock this out. Whereas somebody who was really smart and evil, they would go a lot farther with this and steal all your Dogecoins or something. So.
Do you know one thing you've clarified for me that's really been on my mind? Because I know you're a big fan of the Dogecoins.
How does it pronounce Doge?
Exactly. In my head, I'd be like, doggy coins. And I'm like, I don't think it's doggy. I think it's like, I didn't know, and now I know. So thank you for that, Todd.
I'm not canonical on that. It's okay. We're very accepting here in the Dogecoin community and the DEFCON community.
Yeah.
You can pronounce it doggy, you can pronounce it doji. I like Doge. There's a couple other pronunciations. Some people just say dog.
So my brain kind of was correct on all levels with the pronunciation.
There's no wrong way.
Okay.
There's no wrong way.
There's no wrong way to say it. I'm just going to call them Todd coins.
No.
Since you're a big fan.
That is actually wrong.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is great, Todd. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. I'm glad that the hacker community and your people will be able to see this and maybe something can be done about it. Hopefully.
Yep.
All right. Well, everyone at home, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Secure Ninja TV. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Check out our Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Alicia Webb.
Secure Ninja TV is brought to you by SecureNinja.com, a world leader in cybersecurity training and certification. Our master instructors will help build you into a highly skilled and marketable security professional. Secure Ninja, forging cybersecurity experts.